Dermot Weld is no stranger to the first Tuesday in November. We caught up with the popular Irishman and his jockeys, past and present, at Naas races in Ireland. And got his thoughts on all things racing and his chances this year. Well, Dermot, you're the only European trainer to train a Melbourne Cup winner. In fact, you've done it twice. What sort of horse does it take?
Obviously, it takes a horse that's tough, consistent, can travel well, and can travel well not only in the race, but also those many miles in the air.
Now, your two winners were 7 and 6 respectively. Mm-hmm. Do you think the horses need to mature and to get a bit stronger before they go down for that sort of race?
I think it's definitely a help. There's no doubt about it.
And the race, has it changed much since you won your first Cup?
Yeah, I think it's got more competitive. You're going to get, you know what I mean, you've had many more international horses running the race, and especially this year being the 150th, it's going to be very competitive.
Now, you've won most of the major races around the world. Is there one that's eluded Dermot Weld?
There's lots of them that have eluded me, I can tell you. Lots of them, but we've been very fortunate.
And what's the best horse Dermot Weld's trained?
It's always a very hard question to answer because over different distances, different horses, Vintage Crop was an outstanding stayer, Committed was champion sprinter of Europe. So different distances, we're fortunate to train some very good horses.
Media Puzzle or Vintage Crop, which one gave you the greatest thrill when you won the Melbourne Cup?
I think it's very hard to separate them. Vintage Crop because of the special occasion that it was, the first horse ever to do it. Media Puzzle because all the factors that went into the day. So each one was special.
Vinnie Rowe, a lot of people think we probably didn't see the best of him down in Australia. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I would definitely agree, but also he was unlucky in some ways to run into McAfee Diva and try to give her £5, which was an impossibility. And he was an outstanding horse as well. He won 4 Irish St. Ledgers for me. He was an outstanding stayer.
And what are your thoughts on the Australian handicapping system?
The handicapping system is the same no matter where you train in the world. You're never happy with the weight your horse gets.
Do you think you've beaten a handicapper before?
I doubt it. We've always carried a fair weight. That's the way I look at it. I'm not saying that we were well handicapped. I'm not saying we're badly handicapped. But we're fairly handicapped.
Legend has it that a few Irishmen might have done very well in Vintage Crop and taken a few dollars out of the betting ring that year.
Yeah, I think so. I think Vintage Crop was a case in point. But as I said, by and large, I think the handicappers, he takes care of them.
Now, Mick Kinane rode Vintage Crop. Damien Oliver rode Media Puzzle. Do you think there's a great importance in having a local jockey on board in Melbourne?
Not really. I think if you've got an international jockey of the calibre of Michael Kinane, there's no problem. Equally, Damien I was very fortunate to get Damien Oliver. He's an outstanding world-class rider.
And with everything that happened with Damien leading into that race, were you ever concerned about what might happen? What might unfold? Were you worried at all?
Naturally, I was worried. Yes, indeed. It was a very, very difficult situation for Damien. And he knows it, very much appreciated him riding the horse in the big race.
Well, Rite of Passage, very impressive at Royal Ascot. This year winning the Gold Cup and beating former Melbourne Cup place runner Purple Moon. What's the plans for Rite of Passage?
Well, we'll see with Rite of Passage. We'll see how he comes out of his race. The plan is he'll run back in the Irish St. Ledger. He'll be entered for the Melbourne Cup. We'll see what weight he gets and then we'll decide whether we run him or not. If he gets too high a weight, he won't go.
He's a very lightly raced horse, but he's been very successful. His strike rate's quite phenomenal.
Yes, he's been a consistent horse. He's a very game horse. He had to work very hard to win at Royal Ascot. It's not the ideal race to judge for a Melbourne Cup because the Gold Cup at Royal Ascot over 2.5 miles. But he'll certainly be entered for the Melbourne Cup and, we'll take it from there. Profound Beauty, another lightly raced mare, but been to Melbourne before and gone close. Yeah, she's run well in Melbourne. She was 4th in the Melbourne Cup. She's a good mare. She's running very consistent. She won the other day. She runs this coming Saturday. And she'll be entered for the Melbourne Cup too, and we'll see how she's weighted. At this early stage, is there any, if you had to sort of sway the way between those two, would you sort of put one ahead of the other? I wouldn't. I think a lot will depend on how they're weighted. I think the handicapper will decide which one I might or might not bring. Is there another one back in the yard that we don't know about that could come out of left field? We'll just have to wait and see. If you had to put your last 10 quid on the Melbourne Cup at this early point in time, which way would you be leaning? Oh, it's too early to say. I wouldn't. I keep it in my pocket till near the day.
The Feats of Media puzzle now being immortalised in a movie. Have you had much to do with that?
I've had a little to do with it, not a lot. It'll be a very interesting movie. Hopefully it does well. Brendan Gleeson is a wonderful actor. He plays me in the movie, and he was in the movie he made of Winston Churchill. He was superb, but he's just a great actor.
And so you're obviously very happy with the casting there?
Very happy with the cast.
Is it true that Irish bookmaker Paddy Power wanted to change the name of the Galway races to the Dermot Weld Retirement Fund?
I don't know, it's a joke, but I've heard it.
You've achieved so much in this industry, Dermot. What keeps you motivated and getting out of bed every day and doing what you're doing? You obviously have a great love for it.
I do. It's been very good to me. Winning races. Doesn't matter whether it's small races, big races, winning races. Winning is what keeps you going.
What would it mean to Dermot Weld, the only European trainer to win a Melbourne Cup, to come down to Melbourne this year and win the 150th Melbourne Cup?
Oh, it'd be very special. It'd be a wonderful occasion. I love Australia. It's a wonderful, wonderful continent. I've always been so fortunate in Australia. I've been very, very well treated, always by my opposition, by everybody. I enjoy the whole day. I like to be part of it. Would hope to have a horse good enough to go and run in the big race. I think it's a great occasion. I think it's a wonderful horse race.
Well, hopefully we see you down in Melbourne this year, and I'm sure you'll be very competitive no matter what horse you bring, and I'm sure no one in Australia would begrudge Dermot Weld another Melbourne Cup.
Appreciate it very much. Good to talk to you.